like I said, it's a digital journal. I'm talking about what's going in my life, and it's unreal the amount of people that reach back out to me and say, "Hey, bro, I'm going through the same thing," or "I just went through that," or "I'm going to share this with a friend," or something along those lines. And there's a level of sharing that you need to obviously stay between. I mean, you don't want to take this to an extreme level, but if you allow yourself to be vulnerable, people will support you. And like you said, Joey, the people that you don't even know that are watching will come out of the woodwork and say, "Hey, bro, I needed that today. I've been dealing with blah, 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 and that really inspired me." Then that in turn picks you back up, and you're just like, "I just did something good for another person. All right, rock and roll. This day doesn't suck anymore. Let's go." And it inspires you to do the next one, because it's a trickle down effect as well. It's not just you helping that one person, it's you helping that person. That person helps someone, then someone, then someone, then someone, then someone. And it rolls out to an epic level. But the thing is, what if you don't do that? What if you don't, step up to the plate one morning and someone needed to hear something, they didn't hear it, then they took different actions, they were negative versus positive, and then someone else is watching that. It's a much bigger thing than you think.
Well, and that's why, that's why we start. I mean, it's funny you say that, because, I'm sure you guys have got this a lot on the podcast too, like where they reach out, "Hey, thanks, I needed that. We get that a lot. That's even the reason we started the Grind podcast. Is Jason and I, all we were doing is masterminding once a week. We were accountability partners. And for the most part, we were just bitching at each other about each other's businesses, or whatever. But then one day Jason's like, "Dude," I mean, we probably had this epic conversation that we thought was like very impactful, and we were like, "We should start a podcast." And then next thing you know, well, we've had people, especially on our really juicy shows. We had a show that Jason had a monumental, like, epic collapse, like of his business, of something in his business. And dude, he got on the show and he was just a wreck. Well, it was one of it was one of our, I mean, I know it sounds funny, but it was one of our best shows. Meaning people were reaching out to us, and it was so funny. Why? Because again, I think that helps people seeing other successful people and going like, yeah, because right, I mean, when we see guys like Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, and right? You see that like apex, and it's that classic like iceberg. Everybody's seen that iceberg little image where here's what you see is the iceberg, right? But then underneath, what you don't see is grinding away, doing the calls, getting your ass kicked. And so people need to see that to remind themselves, like, you know what? All right, if I just keep going and keep grinding away, I'm going to get there,
Well, Joey, one of the things that inspired me to even bring up the idea of the podcast was the fact that I listened to Real Estate Uncensored. I don't know if you remember me talking about that back in the day. These two guys, Matt and Greg, and I was like, Joey, you probably don't even remember that, but I was like, these guys kick ass. Like these guys are doing a real estate show, and they're doing scripts. And I mean, originally our idea was to do something about real estate, and then we said, let's shift it. Now let's go more towards mindset, so it's not just real estate focused.
Well, because if we wouldn't,
you guys were a big inspiration for us to start the show. So thank you.
Awesome. If we wouldn't have shifted it, since we're basically identical twins, we would have just created the same show.
Yes, exactly.
Which would have made it. We would have actually been real estate, but we're gonna censor ourselves. We're gonna be real estate censored. No, maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
No, you can't do that. Yeah, but that's super humbling, man. When you guys first told me that, when I first came on your guys' show a while back, I was like, no shit, seriously?
Yeah,
okay,
cool.
Well, wow, that's pretty humbling. That's pretty awesome. And I mean, and no wonder I enjoy being on your show so much, and I enjoy listening to your show, because you guys, I'm listening to my twins, but you guys also bring comedy, brotherhood, and content, and that's what people want. They want real. They want that family feel, like the bickering, but yet the love, but yet the education. Instead of just, super shiny and fluffy. Nobody wants the super shiny and fluffy anymore. So you keep rocking. If any of our listeners have not found the Grind podcast, please, for the love of God, go download it. It is great stuff.
Thanks,
especially since now they have 60-degree weather. Now they're even happier.
Yes, now we're way happier. See, it's weird. The ebb and the flow. Like 3 months ago, we were just pissed off, and now the tone of the show completely changed. All of a sudden, we're like, we're selling real estate, whereas before we're just like, will this go away?
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh my God, I love you guys.
Oh
So,
my God.
Gene, what do you think? I mean, you've seen now both of us. I mean, when it comes to people that just connect, do you think then when they have good content from a marketing side, how could someone go take good content like Joey and Jason have, Matt and I have, where does that marketing mind of yours turn to immediately, how they can leverage that for business and just for getting a name up there?
So the first thing is for sure, like each one of these podcasts by themselves is 52 marketing opportunities. Like one of the things I'm going to start doing is stripping out when I'm on Fridays. And by the way, Matt and Greg's best shows are Fridays, just in case anybody was wondering.
We were wondering. Thank you for clearing that
up. And that has nothing to do with Joey and Jason.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. I'm only kidding. So, but I think that's something where back a year ago, 2 years ago, content was king. And I think it's changed a little bit. And even, Joey, you mentioned Gary Vee is a huge proponent of just feed content constantly. So it becomes very difficult to create great, engaging content all the time. But when you're doing something like what you guys are doing, if you can, maybe do it yourselves or hire somebody behind the scenes at a couple bucks an hour to strip that 1 hour video into 15 different segments, you now have marketing material for the next 2 weeks. And all that does, Greg, it's just a simple strategy, but it reaches more eyeballs organically than if you just do the one podcast. So that's the first way I would start out.
Well, Gene, I have a question for you. I mean, do you recommend anyone that could strip out the content for people and create 15 little segments?
You're trying to set me up for a sales, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I would just as easily tell you, honestly, to go find somebody on Upwork. Go to Upwork.com, upload the video to them, have them chop it into segments, pay $8. You're going to pay me $2.50.
Fuck that.
Greg, I'll help you all day.
We'll pay you $2.50. I'll pay you $2.50.
No, sir.
We gotta talk to Gene about his self-esteem here.
That's
yes, we do.
Listen, you guys don't know this, but I actually live in a third world country, so
that's right,
the
exactly.
cost of living here is very inexpensive.
We think he lives in Philadelphia. Oh, wait, is Philadelphia not a third world country?
Oh, I just laid that up for you, dude. Don't make me come out there. I'll come right to San Diego with my Philly.
Oh, that was so.
Hey,
awesome.
you live in Philly?
I'm outside now. I grew up in Philly, but I'm outside the suburbs now.
Carson Wentz went to the same high school as me.
No way.
Wait, so after we get off this, I'm going to mention a couple names to you, see if we have a couple friends in common. But I won't do it on air.
Awesome.
And what's her name?
It actually is a her. It is a her.
Oh, got it, Greg. Oh, that's funny.
Gene, hey, you know what? Basically, I want to chime in on something you just said, though. So basically what you're saying is everybody's already creating the content. You know what I mean? Basically, everybody's creating it. They just have to, number one, like you said with the podcast, or if you took a week's worth of all your Facebook Live videos or all your whatever and mixed that into just other stuff, I just wanted to make sure that that's what you were throwing down there. And I don't hear anybody do or talk about that.
So Joey, 100% what you just said, and I'll take it one step further. In some of my trainings, I say to people, in real estate, it's really, really easy. So take, for example, a property that you're going to list. That property, so let's say we have a broker's open, we have an open house, we got a video with a drone, we have photos, we have all these kitchen things, we have a pending agreement, we have under contract, we have a sale. And then at the sale, you have your buyers and sellers who you can take pictures of. So each property itself can be 15 different marketing assets. Yeah. Today is, come check out this kitchen. I'm Italian. This is where my family meets. The kitchen's the most important part. Take a look. Call me for a private showing. Tomorrow's the master bedroom. Tuesday's the video. Next Wednesday is me at a Facebook Live. Every single property offers you 30 pieces of or 30 available assets for you to market over the next 3 weeks. And here's the cool part about it. None of them are the same. You're marketing the same property 30 times. Nobody's sick of seeing it because it doesn't subconsciously look like the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Gene, I mean, do you have a PDF or something that, since you don't want anyone to hire you, you weirdo, Do you have something that you can give away for free? That you can outline that for people, and then they
absolutely.
will love you so much they will hire you.
Yeah.
P.S. I'm trying to make you money.
Well, yes.
No, I know what you're doing, dude. I appreciate it.
And where do they go, Gene, to obtain said free item?
Well, we'll have to create that landing page specifically for the REU family, so I don't have it yet. But next week,
that's what I want to hear about.
Here's the teaser. Tune in next week. You'll get some free stuff.
All right. But this brings up a very valuable point. Okay, so most agents, and I've been like on podcast and on radio shows actually with guys like this, where they have one call to action, which is call me, right? Nobody wants to call us. They want something else. They want to express interest. They want to get some information. They want to kind of take a step closer to us, but they don't want to like step into a phone booth with us. Like they're not ready to like smell our breath. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to talk to us. So I think one of the things, Gene, when you're getting exposure, it's in real estate. If you've got something specific where it's a listing or something where it's not just call me to work together. It's, hey, you can just call for information about this particular listing. But I mean, even Craig Proctor years ago proved that them being able to call a recorded hotline and not have to talk to a person like exploded conversions. So it's always better to have two different offers. You've got your primary offer, which is, reach out, talk to me directly about working together or about this specific listing. And then number two is something else, something, lower permission, a way for them to take a step towards you. That's a baby step.
So I love what you're saying there because I put this in two categories. One is I think I might be interested in what these guys have to offer, and that's sort of the hands-off approach. And the other one is the pain point. So, for example, when I signed up at my local gym, it's a CrossFit gym, and I was nervous because I heard all these negative things about CrossFit. I popped into the gym because it was under construction, and I knew they couldn't force me to work out right there. So I kind of, at an arm's length, wanted to see what was going on, right? Yeah. But then to give you another point, on these podcasts, this actually happened last week, and I was just searching to see if I could find the email, but I got a call from somebody that hit me on Facebook that said, I need to talk to you. I've been watching you on REU Live for the last 6 months. I'm at a point where I hit a wall, I'm banging my face against the wall, and I need your help. And so the pain point was I've gotten to a point where I can't get any further, and so now, Gene, I want to talk to you versus I'm not sure if I want you to sell me your services yet, so I'm going to watch from afar. So I love that. Like, I'm not quite ready, but I'm interested.
This is the bane of all business coaches, right? Because business coaches love to coach. The problem is nobody reaches out to a business coach until they're in pain, usually massive pain, like on the verge of losing their marriage because of their business or losing their business because of something else. And I hear a lot of them complaining about that, right? Like they want to help people, but they don't want people to wait that long. The problem is when the only thing you have for them is, hey, if you're in pain, reach out to me and I can solve your pain. Like if that's your message to the world, then that's exactly the prospects you're going to get. And that's why I think it's important, going back to the very first point that we made, is all this stuff has to be integrated. Like you have to start with what do you want to sell? Then you figure out the kind of marketing and exposure that you want to get. Because if your exposure is based around talking about the pain, then absolutely you're going to get more people that come to you to solve that pain. If you were to offer them something that gives them a hands-off approach where they can take a step towards you earlier while they're in less pain, then you might catch them and you can reach out to them and follow up with them and start nurturing the relationship so that you get them in the pipeline sooner and not, when they're an expired listing or when their business is on the verge of collapse or when they've hit a massive wall. Like there's two different types of clients. You hopefully want to get the people that are in pain, but then you also want to get the outer circle of people who are on their way to the pain, but hopefully aren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well,
I heard collectively everybone's head explode. Like, everybody who's watching just went, how do I do that while I run a real estate business?
How do I do that?
Much.
How do I do that?
Right?
That's
well,
the first thing I thought.
One of the things that you guys can do.
Greg, you have one. You have the best one.
What?
Greg, you literally have the best one. So for buyers, and you've talked about this before in the trainings and stuff like that, it's the off-market property list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my secret MLS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that is literally the best low permission, hands off kind of thing. And who is it? Brett Jennings. Does anybody know Brett Jennings? Yeah. Guys, you guys that are in the KW world. So Brett Jennings is the #1 KW agent in NorCal. He just switched over to EXP. Brett was actually one of my clients when I was at Viral Marketing, the same way I met Greg. So I did his video and email marketing, stuff like that. he had a list that he, based on their active conversations and prospecting with like FSBOs and expires and cancels and withdrawals and yada yada, they had a list of over 100, like a running list of 100 plus properties in Silicon Valley that were like seriously legit off market, open to offers, want to sell but weren't on the MLS. That's one of the highest value. Like, it takes a lot of work to build it, but if it's legitimate, that is one of the best offers you can make to a buyer that will explode your buyer leads, and it has nothing to do with their pain. It's all gain, but it's legitimate. It's unique. It's a big idea, and you have a unique mechanism to deliver it, which is that, hey, we're on the phones 3 hours a day talking to nobody but people who own homes in your area. And right now there's nothing on the MLS, but you know what's not on the MLS? The list that I have over 100 homes that we have personally spoken with every single homeowner, and they're open to an offer. Would you like to get that list? Bam. They'll give you all the contact information that you want for that. And then you reach out and you build the conversation. That way you're not getting them when they're standing outside of the home that they want to see, and you're just a door monkey that opens the door. So, I mean, it's all about
what a great way
catching
to
people catching people sooner, you know?
Yeah, just add
so I always loved that. I always kept that strategy in mind. I think he was a genius at the way that he did that. And it basically took, it's another approach of like, hey, we're going to do this anyway. Let's leverage it. Like, we're making the calls. Let's figure out a way to leverage the calls. And he figured it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, for
hats off to
everyone, absolutely. Another way that you guys can leverage stuff, if you guys are not Brett Jennings yet, but another thing that I think the Black Swan Group, Matt, what they do so well is they do a weekly email with negotiating tips. I mean, this guy, he wrote a book about, he used to be the ex-FBI international head negotiator for hostage release. So he gives negotiating tips on just general negotiating every single week because he has a superpower. Well, how to get them out of being kidnapped, Matt.
Oh, how to
get them released. Okay. All right, we're not meeting up anymore today, buddy.
He sends out tips on how to get more helicopters and pizza when you take people hostage, like how to actually get a helicopter that works, how to make your escape.
But my point is that, you know, the fact is that every one of us has a superpower, a secret power that, you know, that we're really good at, but we don't think we can put into real estate. So let's say you're getting out of dog walking, cooking, another business, but you're very, very proficient in that, and you might be useful. Put out the content, little snippet bite sizes, you know, the breadcrumb trail, get people to come to you, just like what happened with Gene. I mean, you were just here, you're giving knowledge, having fun, laughing, being weird, and someone's like, dude, I like your style, bro, and I want to work with you now. I mean, I got to hang with a super cool chick today, Denise. She I was walking through the convention center here, and she's like, I know you. Like, I froze. I'm like, what do you mean? And so she and I, because of the stuff that we've been putting out, dude, she and I just cruised and chatted, and I introduced her to the guys who run Lab Coat, ran into them, ran into Dan Beer. I ran into a couple other people that were just cruising around and, you know, just trading tips. And it was just little things that you can do, just introductions to people that people might need. It's look at the things in your life that you think are inconsequential that can be a massive value add to, you know, another person. But you just think of it, it's just a normal day.
Yeah.
We all have that power.
Greg, one of the things I really appreciate about you and just all the content that you put out is the vulnerability, and you actually seem to genuinely care, right?
I do.
You're honest.
Yes, it's really annoying. Greg actually does care.
and you're. But you can tell. You can tell. You can tell that you care. It's like, oh, you can actually make a connection with this guy. You know.
Yeah.
So that's
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Because all joking
Greg
aside and all bullshit away, I really do care. I mean, Matt and I, when we first started this podcast, Matt, what did I tell you? I'm like, dude, I want to go out there and I want to epically change our business. I want to be the Robin Hood of real estate. I want to give everything to these people so they can have an epic life and not have to go back to that 9 to 5. I have a lot of knowledge up in my head. I have resources coming out of my ears. I want to give without ever asking for anything. And people, like when I first did the McDaniel challenge, you guys, and that for you guys don't know what that is, I did that for 2.5 years of free coaching every single night, 4 nights a week for 2.5 years. That was a long time. I loved it. I got to make such epic friendships and hear incredible things. But the first time, Neely Freeman, if you're listening to this, her husband legitimately took her wallet away from her because he was convinced that I was going to make her pull out the credit card and charge her after the call. She's like, you're not going to charge me? I'm like, Neely, it was free.
Yeah.
It's an F word that's 4 letters,
awesome.
but it's a good one.
Yeah. Nice. Wow.
Well, people don't expect that, man. That's awesome. I mean, obviously, everybody thinks, especially if you're talking to unfortunately, we've all been programmed to think that, like, this free thing, right? Or you got to sign up for this thing, and everybody always in the back of their minds are thinking, like, well, wait a second, what's the catch? I mean,
here it comes.
Here it comes, right? Where is it? Where's the pitch? But it's like, boom. I mean, how like secretively valuable is it if you're just like, no, I'm just rocking this out. Like, let's do it. And you know what's funny is because I do a lot of teaching, and I'm literally just teaching because, first of all, it's made me just selfishly, it has made me just improve my skills, right? So that's the selfish part. Plus, I really enjoy it. And people have asked me, like, do you charge anything? I'm like, no, I don't charge that. I mean, I don't charge anything. Maybe I should. I don't know. But it's also super fun, and everybody gains value from it. So it's like, I don't know, that's a win-win. And there's other secret things that come from that, whether it's things that just connections or whatever it really is. So there is value there.
Well, dude, check it out. I'm in a deal right now with a gal. Her name is Danielle. I'm not going to use her last name just for anonymity. But I trained her 3 years ago at my past brokerage. And then she hired me to be her coach for a couple of months till she got on her feet. Dude, she said straight up, Greg, I'm not going to put this on the market. I want to do a deal with you because I love you and I love your clients. And because of our history, I'm not going to expose it to the market.
That's cool, dude.
And I'm like, that's what you get. You don't know when it comes back, but it will always come back to you.
Yes.
No matter, it could be monetary, it could be a relationship, it could be an introduction, it could be anything out there, but don't look for it and don't expect it to come back to you.
Yeah, that's
You've
true.
got to give. You have to give without wanting anything in return.
You know what? I met with an agent actually this morning. It was kind of just a little masterminding / we were seeing, is there a potential partnership? And I didn't know her. I didn't know she was with Remax. I didn't know her. And at the very end, she goes, you know what? She goes, I don't know how she put it, but she goes, you know what? This has been pretty fun. This is enjoyable. And she goes, I knew you were fun. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you know what? Every time she's like, I've called you a couple times on your listings and we've talked. And I was like, oh, we spoke on the phone? She's like, yeah. And every time I call you, you're just like, hey, what's up? And she's like, and she goes, I think one time I told her she lost out on multiple offers or she told me or something like that. She's like, yeah, you just took it in stride. And I'm like, I was probably secretively super pissed. But then I just, but anyways, going with what you're saying, Greg, like I specifically, when she said that, I was like, thank you so much for saying that, because first of all, there's a lot of dickheads in this business and it's super fun. Yeah. It's super fun when you can be like, all right, you know what? Hey, guess what? Just be a good person, show up, give it your all. And if you do that as much as you can, look at, who knows? We probably had those conversations a year ago, years ago. But yet she remembered it as like, oh, okay, Joey Tork he's a good agent and I can trust and do business with him. And it's going to be a somewhat good experience with all the bullshit that comes along with it, right? And so it's the same thing what you were just saying, Greg. It's spot on, man.
Yeah, it's just the way that the nature of what you need to do. But people we're so programmed that if we give, we got to get something in return. I give you this little nugget. Give me your email, bitch. And when it all has to be, it's like, hey, here, dude, this could be like, Denise was walking around with me. She's like, why did you get into real estate? Like, what? She asked me a couple of questions, and I turned to her, and I'm like, well, I did real estate. I got into it because of necessity. And she's like, what? And I told her my story, and I gave her some background. I gave her some tips, and we had a genuine conversation. And she was just like, I'm like having a real conversation. I'm not getting sold. This is so weird. And so, I want to empower you guys to, do a couple of things. I know we're running close on time here. I want to do things this way. I want you guys who are listening to this either live with us right now or on the audio recording. I want you to write down the list right now of 5 people you can go out and powerfully impact by doing something without wanting anything in return. And don't tell them that they're on this list. You just go do something nice for them. That's the end of the story. And then, you know what? If you want to, private message me, private message Jason or Joey or Matt or the Evil Bald Ninja, Whoever you resonate with, you call you if you want to let us know what you did. But it's not because you want to get the spotlight. It's just because you saw an impact that was a positive effect in your community, in your family, in your business, your brokerage, or anywhere it is. And then we'll talk about how we can expand it. Because if we can shine a light on people to become better people, then stop being just money hungry dickheads, our business is not going to be used car sales anymore. We can really make a powerful impact here on people's lives. So that's my challenge to everyone who's listening to this. Take it if you want. If you don't, well, fuck off, because you're an evil human being, and you're related to Gene.
Oh,
wow,
Dr. Evil Ninja.
Greg, that was great.
Right. All right.
That was awesome.
Okay. So let's.
I'm gonna actually take that challenge back to my team as well. So
yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, quick round of how do people connect with us. Jason, let's start with you since you've been very quiet.
Yeah, grindpodcast.com. Check it out. My email is jasonharmon@kw.com as well. Instagram is @grindpodcastus, and then Facebook is grindpodcastus as well. So
Sweet.
check it out. Hit me up with an email if you want to chat. Or what is I don't even know what our email address is. Grindpodcast1@gmail.com too. Yeah, grindpodcast1@gmail.com.
Don't you ever say you don't know our email ever again.
I'm surprised you know what it is. How many times have you asked me for a Zoom?
No, actually, I was glad you figured it out because I was going to be like, shit, he's going to put this on me. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yes. And then nothing will get done. Joey, how about you? How do you reach out other than the podcast?
Yeah, so Joey at Go Team Torque is just the best way, or Facebook friend me. I love accepting friends that I don't know personally. So
That's right.
So definitely there, and grindpodcast.com. We'd love to see people on there.
All right, awesome. Gene, the Evil Ninja.
I have two sites. I have two sites today. One is Karma Doesn't Always Have to Be a Bitch, but McDanielDoes.com. And the other one is Matt Johnson apparently negotiates for pizza during a hostage situation.org.
That's
and so
oh, that is great.
We need to talk about that stuff right there.
That's what he was doing when he was silent.
That's exactly right. It took me
yes, he's coming up with those.
The full hour to come up with.
All right. Well, I will step in and say you should reach out to Gene at gene@volpe.com. There we go.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
Nice.
And then
Nailed that.
I know. Greg, if they would like to reach out and learn more about joining up with us and getting all of our training, all of our systems, all of Jeff Cohn's training that he delivers Wednesday, Friday out of his office, they can get all of it for free just by linking arms and joining under our team. Greg, how do they talk to you about that?
Guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com. The reason why I want you to go there is very simple. Look, if you're thinking about EXP, I'm not fucking around. I want you on my team. If you guys resonate with me, you resonate with Matt, you resonate with the people that we bring on, I want you on my team. Matt and I are going to provide epic content. We're going to stay up with you. We're going to coach you. We're going to train you. We're going to be by your side as you guys go through this crazy thing of real estate. Look, there are a lot of great people out there, but I know that our team can bring massive value. So I'm being really serious. Go to bookmcdaniel.com, book 30 minutes with me, and get on our team. Let us help you grow to the life that you want to live. That's how you can get a hold of me. Now you can call Matt at 402.
Well, they already know the area code. Yeah. All right.
And then 881. But I do have, Matt, if they can read this, this is the business card with his number.
Let's hope that
you can get it.
We need to get it. Thank God for that high gloss finish on that card. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We appreciate you guys being here. Joey, Jason, and of course the evil bald ninja, Gene Volpe himself. Guys, we appreciate all of your time. And guys, thank you so much for watching, listening, commenting, all the things that you do. Thanks for sharing the show. Go subscribe and grab it on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Just search for Real Estate Uncensored. Or go to reuncensored.com. You can grab all of our stuff there and links to everywhere. Everything is at the website, so go there. We appreciate you guys, and thanks so much for watching. Greg, let's put a nice little bow on this one.
Well, Matt, we got to pick a color for the bow. You know this. So what are we going to do?
Let's go with light blue. It's the color of the Realtor Expo we're speaking at.
Light blue it is. All right, guys. Matt, you're going to have to shut it off, but I'll take us out. Guys, as always, hey, we bring epic people that we get to meet to you guys. Go listen to the Grind podcast. It is amazing. Go hire Gene Volpe, even though he turns away business, and his wife is going to slap him tonight when she hears that he turns away business. Go hire him. I have. And he does incredible things. He's out of the box thinking. He's incredible. All right. And guys, join our EXP team. But overall, I love you beyond words because you guys are listening to this and you're growers, you're grinders, and you're thrivers. So go be your badass self. Let your freak flag fly. And until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.